is the new chain of the supply chain design. So you can see that it's really on type of the supply chain. But on type of the supply chain, we separated to become the different part of the supply. So the supply chain, for example, the supplier of the supplier, of the manufacturer, of the distributor, of the retailer. However, in the chain of the new chain of the actually it's not the new chain, really new chain. It's the new chain of the previous decade. And we focus on the something make this flow of the supply chain will be smooth. And sometimes we use the technique of the just in time. It means we try to remove the warehouse out of our manufacturer. And because whenever we finish him, we finish the production here and just transport it to the customer and continuously. And the next technique or next chain, it also use it in the supply chain system is the VMI, vendor managed inventory. For the vendor managed inventory as the system of the Walmart in the USA. So you can say that for the partner, our partner here, if we share the information of our production to the supplier, and whenever they can get the information of the manufacturer here, and they can deliver a whole material on time to our manufacturer, and we can ensure that the production can work with the better way, right? And sometimes the other thing will happen if we cannot control the production system. For example, here, so you can say that in the restaurant in Vietnam, we have that restaurant just focus on they are going to organize, or they are really main role of this type of restaurant is organize the wedding party for the couple, right? So you can say that whenever they sign the contract with the couple, when they wanna organize the wedding in the restaurant, and they need to ensure that if the customer can come with the higher number of the contract they sign, of the lower number contract they sign, and with the lower number, and the customer can take the food home, right? Because they pay home for the party. However, when the customer come with the higher number of the customer decide with the restaurant, and this problem will happening. How can the restaurant can prepare enough food for the expanded customer? Actually, they also prepare 3 or 4 table for the customer. If they can come more and more, and they can get the food from the others to serve for this wedding party, right? And because they prepare around 3 to 4 table for the expanded customer, it means they need to control the quality of the food, because if the customer just come with the lower number of with the exactly number of the contract they sign with the restaurant, and most of the food they prepare for the expanded customer will be throw it to the trash, because we cannot see this for the next day or the next day, because the age of the food is limited, right? So one of the things we need to care about when we do the forecasting. Same with the moon cake. Whenever they have planned for the moon cake production, because for each company produce the moon cake for the moon fest, so you can see that we need to prepare at least 6 months before the moon phase. And whenever they prepare for the whole thing, for the more raw material for the package of the moon cake, and after the 6 month, they launch it to the market, and if they cannot sell home, and whole thing will be towards to the trash because we don't use it after the moon fest, right? For the moon cake, we just use it, we just have it in the moon fest, and don't want to use it, don't want to eat it anymore after the fest, moon fest, right? So actually, we have the three components of the forecast demand, and there's some components including time frame, behavior of the demand, possible existence of the pattern. So you can say that the time frame is one of the really important component for the forecasting demand or forecasting system because of for the time frame, how long we need to make, how long we need to forecast, how long we need to predict, or how many data we have in the past, and we can get it data if, whether it's enough or not for the forecasting. And the next one, also really important, is the behavior of the demand. For the behavior of the demand, same with the third holiday or the Lunar New Year, we have just spent time with our family here, right? Or for the Moon Fest, the Moon Fest is coming, right? For the Moon Fest or the Lunar New Year holiday, there are some traditional product, and they need to, we just use it, we just to consume it in exactly the time of the year. So this is we call that as the behavior of the demand. And the next one is the possible existence of the pattern. The keyword is the pattern of the demand of the customer. So sometimes the pattern is this way, and sometimes the pattern is this type, and we need to predict the pattern of the demand. And if we really understand the, we really know understand the pattern of the demand, and we can easy to predict, right? So for the time frame, this is the time frame. The short term to the mid term, or the short range or the mid range of the forecast, and typically for the mid range, and it is the time frame between 12 to 18 months, and for the short range, it less than a year. And for the long range forecast, it usually encompass a period of time longer than the 2 years, right? More than 2 years. This the demand behavior, or for the demand behavior, we have the pattern here. This is the pattern of the demand. And the demand behavior, we have the trend, we have the, what's going on, the random variation, we have the cycle, we have the seasonal pattern, and based on the demand behavior, and we have the demand pattern. So how many methods we use for our class here? The first one we approach is the time series method. The next one is regression, and finally is some qualitative method. Because for the qualitative method, we just based on, like I mentioned, like I explained it before, just based on the role of the manager. And so don't focus more on the qualitative, just focus on the time series and regression. And we has classified the whole forecasting process to become the three uh, main forecasting. The first one, economic forecasting, technology forecasting, product consumption forecasting. Okay, let's move to the first quantitative method. We call that the time series method. For the time series method, this is the statistical technique that uses the historical. Just remember that we need to have the historical data and accumulate it over a period of time. It will be help us to have the data to predict in the future based on the historical data. And sometimes we call that as the historical data method, or we call that as the time series method. For the time series, we assume that what has occurred in the past will continue to occur in the future. Nothing changed, all related to the forecast. And we just focus on one factor, this is the time. And now we have the MA, moving average. We have exponential smoothing. We have the linear trend line. Three of them becoming using the historical data of the time series. And from the time series, now we are going to explore the MA, ES, and linear. The first one is the moving average. The most important moving average technique we call as the knife. Knife, what is the knife? The demand in the current period is used as the next period forecast. We just use the totally same the data in the past. For example, last month we produced 50 product for the market, and this month we also produced 50 product, and the next month we also produce 50 products for the market, and the demand we can just assume that it will be the same in the whole period is the naive, right? It's very simple. We don't have it in the practice. And the next one, sometimes we call that the simple moving average, and sometimes we call that the moving average. And what is the moving average? So you can see the formula of the moving average here. This is the method used average demand for the fixed sequence of the periods. So that's the reason. After the moving average, we have the certain number. For example, we have MA3, we have MA4, we have MA5 without MA1. If we have the MA1 here, so you can see that this is the meaning of MA. If we have MA3, it means N equal 3. We need to try to find the average demand for the previous every 3 period, previous before, right? If we have the MA5, it means N equal 5. And we need to find out the average demand for the 5 previous period, right? And without MA1, why? For MA1, it's either 90. This is the MA1 because we have the just one period and we use the same amount of the previous one to for the forecasting, and this is the 90. So for the moving average, we don't have the MA1 anymore because it's the 90. So for the formula, so you can say that any number of period in moving average demand of each period. For example, and we have the number here for the January. We track. We have the sales record here. We sell 57 product, and February we sell 60 product. March 60. Because of we need to use the moving average 3. It means we need to find out the average of the previous 3 periods, right? So that's the reason we cannot predict or we cannot forecast for the January. We cannot do it for the February. Same with we cannot do it for the March. And the first prediction or the first forecast period we can do it is from the April. From the April, This the cell, the real data. Well, this the real one. Then this is the forecasting one. For the forecasting, so you can say that because of we have the MA3, we need to calculate the average number of the real data from the first 1, 2, 3. If we wanna try down to find the number of the fourth period, we need to calculate the first, the second, and the third period. If we wanna find out the result for the sixth period, and we need to use the data from the 3, 4, and 5. So you can say that this is the number of the January, the number of the February, the number of the March, and find out the average number. And here is the forecasting of for April. And we can compare it with the real data after finishing the April. And same with the May. We are predict with the number is 60. However, the real number is 57. And same with the June. Right? It's very, very simple. I also have the example here. It's the MA3. It's the MA5. So you can compare because of the MA3, it means the first 3 period we cannot predict it, and for the MA5, the first 5 period we cannot forecast for the first 5 periods, right? And for the pattern of the forecasting, so you can say that for the 5 month or 3 month, there are very, very different compared to the actual data. So it means the result is not exact for the company if they trying to follow the pattern, and the risk is really high, right? Okay, this one is the better version of the MA, and we call that the weighted MA or WMA, weighted moving average. And in this type of the method, we have to MA with the weight. So in the past, we just find out the average number. This is the average number for whole period, right? For whole period, right? But now, in each period, based on the important. Okay, sorry.